So ChatGPT to create a game concept for a simulation game in a small town, and it gave me a very detailed game in a quaint village where players have new arrivals who have to build up the town, manage resources, etc. Um, it listed a lot of features similar to games like Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, like that. So like customization. Uh, it detailed stuff about monetization and selling points as well. It didn't only focus on the art of the game. And I asked what role the player has in this game because it listed a lot of broad features, but not what the player actually does. Uh, it just mentioned again, the player is a new arrival in a small town, and I asked why are they in charge of the task, and it didn't have a very good answer. It just said they're a central figure and a new arrival. Schematic. I asked about the time period and art style again. It didn't give me much more detail than the original. It did clarify late 19th to early 20th century time period, which I thought was interesting. I don't think it's very common time period for games to be set in. And I asked about the game loop specifically, because I was still a little confused on what it intended the player to do every day. And it was a pretty run-of-the-mill game loop. Morning routines, exploration, getting to know NPCs, stuff like Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing has. I asked about challenges, which was pretty much the same as the features there, although it mentioned mysteries now. Still for the project, because I was curious how it could handle, not only conceptually making a game, but also concretely. Give a budget estimate for different it gave a budget estimate of $500,000 to $1.5 million for a small indie project. And I thought that was pretty large. Some indie games might have that budget, but I would describe small indie projects as having that much. If you get down, I don't know how accurate these numbers could be. I've never had to pay for marketing and distribution before. And it also gave me a timeline, 2 to 3 years in overall pre-production, production, and post-production, which seemed a little short. And then talked to these different staff, how many people you need. Pretty large staff was listed for small indie studio that it was claiming. And then I asked it to adapt the concept to fit a budget of $100,000 and a team of 4 to 6 instead. It mentioned limiting NPCs, focusing on farming and minimal puzzles, simplifying art, which is generally good advice, and adapted the team to meet my needs. Although it listed some extra people who wouldn't fit into the budget I gave. It broke down the budget, which I thought was interesting. Again, I don't know how accurate these numbers could be. And the timeline went down significantly to 12 to 18 months, and I don't think that would be accurate at all. Having smaller budget and smaller team doesn't also mean they'll take less time to create. And timeline, and it broke it down some more. Pretty consistent. But again, very short. And then last, I asked about an advertising plan for the game, which was very detailed and which was very detailed. Mentioned good audience, stuff like that. Using Let's Play videos, paying influencers. I think this is pretty accurate to what a game of the scope would be doing. although maybe with a different budget. And yeah, I thought it was surprising how detailed ChatGPT was able to come up with a plan like this. But I don't know how accurate any of these numbers would be, so I don't know how useful of concrete information it is giving.